I think one of the biggest risks to civilization is the low birth rate and the rapidly declining birth rate.
Should we limit the world's population to save the planet?
He said the couple plans to have only one more child out of concern for the environment.
The worst thing that we can do to this planet is add more people, and so they're not going to do that.
The biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse.
Why is it that American couples don't want to have kids?
Birth rates in the USA have dropped to their lowest annual levels in 3 decades.
I mean, the population's going to have to stop growing at some point, so why not stop now?
I can't emphasize this enough. There are not enough people.
15,000 scientists signed a petition calling for measures to help limit the world's population.
History is truly at a turning point.
We are going to face, in the mid part of the century, a demographic implosion, the likes of which we haven't seen, including the Black Plague. The math is obvious.
6. Dünyada nüfus artışını engelleyecek olan en önemli unsurlardan biri de LGBT'dir. Bugün Batı ülkelerinin çoğunda yaklaşık her 20 kişiden biri kendini gay, lezbiyen ya da trans olarak tanımlıyor. Her geçen gün birçok ülkede bu tarz yaşamlar özgürlük çatısı altında desteklenmekte, yasalar çıkarılmakta, hatta LGBT evlilikleri teşvik edilmektedir. Bu da insanların üremesini engelleyen unsurlar arasında yerini almaktadır. Bu tarz grupların desteklenmesinin en önemli sebebi nüfus kontrolüdür. Amerika'da bile 20 yıl önce çok fazla bu tarz insanları göremezdiniz. Ama her geçen yıl sayıları daha fazla artmaktadır. Özellikle sosyal etkinlikler düzenlemekte, büyük küresel şirketlerce finansal olarak desteklenmektedir. Sinema filmleri ve diğer popüler yayınlarla bu yaşam tarzı insanlara doğal gösterilmektedir. Aslında zaman içinde büyüyen yeni kuşaklar için bu tarz cinsiyet kavramları gayet normal karşılanmakta ve kendisini LGBT'nin bir bireyi olarak tanıtan insanların sayısı her geçen gün artmaktadır.
How confused the women are today about their role. And they are confused because massive efforts are being done under the name of feminism in order to cause this confusion among the people. And as a result, the marriages and families, the primary building block of social and moral order, are in shambles. Much of this is laid at the feet of feminist movement, because it has overturned the thinking of women so dramatically that they have forgotten their real precious value and important responsibilities that are given by their creator. What the public sees about the feminism is that women want equal pay and they want to be free from certain social strictures. And we may think it's a movement for stopping violence against women, but the real agenda is much more serious.
Well, one of the things they told me was that
He's at the house one night, and he would talk, and he started laughing. He said, "Aaron, what do you think women's liberation was about?" And I said, I had pretty conventional thinking about it at that point. I said, I think it's about women having the right to work, getting equal pay with men, just like they won the right to vote, you know? And he started to laugh. He said, "You're an idiot." And I said, "Why am I an idiot?" He said, let me tell you what that was about. We, the Rockefellers, funded that. We funded Women's Lib, you know? And we're the ones who got all over the newspapers and television, the Rockefeller Foundation. He says, "And you wanna know why?" He said, "There were two primary reasons. And they were, one reason was we couldn't tax half the population before Women's Lib. And the second reason was, now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them." And so those are the two primary reasons for Women's Lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture.
Aaron, did you know that Gloria Steinem, in one of her own books, now admits the CIA funded Miss Magazine?
No, I had no idea about that. No, I never heard that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
CIA funded Miss Magazine?
Funded Miss Magazine with the stated goal of taxing women and breaking up the family.
No kidding. I never heard that. Well, Nick told me. I mean, I know it, but not because I know the CIA was involved in it.
Well, Gloria Steinem was proud of it. Oh, the CIA wanted to help me help women.
No kidding.
So they funded it, yeah. And of course, it's divide and conquer.
Right,
and what they do is they focus in, obviously, on real problems. Women were getting shafted in many ways, but the elite wasn't planning to help them. They were planning to really shaft them and take men away from them.
The reason we have to take this movement seriously is because they constitute fortress. They constitute the speculations, the ideologies, the proud intellectualism that's erected in our society and has a formidable place. They're influencing the law, they're influencing the courts, and they have a massive influence on education. All you have to do is realize that this is how the university system thinks. That's where the school teachers are all trained, and you see how it filters all the way down through the educational system. They try to create laws, and we have to live by the laws that are obliterating all sense of moral and religious views. And their ideas are being taught through every possible medium, whether it's educational system or entertainment. And as a result, we have a brainwashed society which is following their evil ideologies.
This is our prophet speaking. And he said, you will see Mirka Subyan, young people having massive wealth. Like Zuckerberg is a multi-billionaire before he was 30. And you will see Mu'amaratun Nisa. You'll see the movements to corrupt the women.
7. Pornografi. Özellikle pornografi son 50 yılda insanlardaki cinsellik anlayışını çok fazla değiştirmiştir. Tarihin her döneminde bu tarz sadistçe farklı yollar ile yapılan cinsel münasebetler olmuştur. Ama hiçbiri günümüzdeki kadar küresel çapta dünyanın birçok yerinde alenen göz önünde ve kayıt edilerek yapılmamıştır. Ve günümüzdeki gibi doğal kabul edilmemiştir. Bu şekilde daha da tabu haline gelen ilişkiler ve sözde fantezi kavramlarıyla insanların doğasına aykırı pornografik yapımlar yayınlanmaktadır. Burada büyük sorunlardan bir tanesi şu ki, küçük yaşta çocuklar bile rahatça bu tarz içeriklere ulaşmaktadır. Hatta bırakalım pornografik içerik yayınlayan sayfaları, sosyal medya içeriği altında pornografik içeriğe benzer görüntüler insanlarca alenen yayınlanmaktadır. Şu anlatacağıma dikkat et. 1950'lerden 2020'lere kadar yapılmış toplam pornografik içerik önümüzdeki 10 yıl içinde, yani 2030'a kadar yapılacak olan pornografik içeriklerden en az 3 kat az olacaktır. Çünkü artık insanların kendileri pornografik içerik yayınlamak ve üye olduğu sayfalarda kanal açarak gelir elde etmek için bireysel yayınlar yapmaktadır. Ve bunun sayısı her geçen gün artmaktadır. 2010'lardan önce dünya genelinde bu sektörün %80'i Los Angeles'ta belirli firmaların etrafında dönüyordu. Bugün ise sadece %30'u Los Angeles'tadır. Bu oranın düşmesindeki en büyük sebep de dünya genelinde büyütülen porno sektörü, insanların bu sektöre amatör veya bireysel olarak partnerleri ile dahil olmasıdır. Özellikle bu tarz yayınlar çoğaldıkça ve ulaşması kolaylaştıkça bunları izleyen insanların farklı fanteziler peşinde koşmasına sebep olmakta ve farkında olmadan cinsel hayatları bozulmaktadır. Z biraz hafiften gülümser ve bilek sona bakarak bu aslında daha detaylı konuşulacak bir konu. Ama işin ciddiyeti açısından ve geleceği açısından önemini anlatmaya çalışıyorum der. Dolayısıyla bu tarz yayınlar da aile yapısının bozulmasına ve bireylerin aile kurmasına engel olmaktadır. Bu anlattıklarından dolayı da dünyadaki nüfus artışını engelleyen sebepler arasında yerini almaktadır.
The moment he's doing it, he thinks that he doesn't harm anyone. But he doesn't know that he himself is the victim. He doesn't know that he is falling into the downhill of addiction, a type of addiction which is far more dangerous than any other type. Because it's easily available and there is no restrictions for it. In addition, it has such an intense impact which is very difficult to remove it from the minds of those who are suffering it. This situation is widespread and no one is talking about it. Pornography goes in through the eyes into the iris and triggers a release of chemicals in your brain. Chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, and oxytocin. And these are natural chemicals that your body produces. These chemicals are needed. When you take hard drugs or look at pornographic material, your brain is overloaded with these chemicals. After you keep looking at porn, your brain gets used to those high amounts and builds up the tolerance. The same images that once gave you rush don't have the same effect anymore. In order to get that same rush, it not only takes more of it, but also takes a more hardcore version of it. Your brain becomes dependent on that rush of chemical and literally rewires itself to think that that's normal. And so you cannot function without it. That's called addiction. The same process happens with cocaine and heroin.
We live in the ultimately shameless world today. The world in which streaming videos off of any website are available on your mobile device. The age in which the pornography industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. The point of which, the agenda of which is to make sure every one of you is a consumer of filth in one way or another. That every man, woman, and child is exposed to this stuff, and they're hoping you are, so you become addicted to it, so you become yet another consumer. This is the gift of pornography to society. It's creating people, turning people into animals and perverts. And some of you unfortunately have that addiction. And you're watching this stuff online, and you're watching it and saving it on your apps and your mobile devices. And you don't feel bad about it anymore. You've justified it to yourself. And you feel bad about it once in a while, but you go back to it. And as a result, you think, oh, well, at least I'm not hurting anybody. At least I'm not doing it to anybody else. I'm just watching this stuff. It's okay. But you know what's happening to you? Inside, your soul is being just gutted. You have no soul left inside of you. So your prayers are empty, and you can't even shed a tear in your salat because your heart is so devoid of the fear of Allah because of the filth you've been watching all this time. It's turned you from a human being into an animal. So you can't even look. A woman passes by and you see a piece of flesh walking by. You don't see a human being walking by that deserves respect. You check everybody out and everything out. You're constantly gawking and staring. You have a hard time putting your eyes down. When you're on the subway, when you're on campus, when you're at work, you're walking down the street, you just can't help it. You see a billboard, you take a second look, you see a third look. You don't miss any opportunity to just to violate your soul with your eyes. You're addicted completely. And then you say, brother, how do I get khushu' and salat? What world are you living in? What world are you living in? Ayyuhal ikhwa, my brothers. Specifically my brothers. And I know some sisters have this issue too. It's a sad reality. This is a war. This is a war. This is more dangerous than any military war. This is the war that's destroying our souls. It's making its way into our homes. It's making its way, if I want to protect my children from this stuff as much as possible. But when my child goes to school, and it doesn't matter if it's Islamic school, there's a very high statistical likelihood that someone, a friend, with their iPod, with their mobile device, will say, hey, look at this. It's a very realistic, a thing nowadays. It's not far-fetched. And so I have to prepare my children for the filthy world that they're going to be brought up in. And there's no escape from this stuff anymore. There isn't. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. You have Islamic lectures followed up by, those YouTube puts those follow-up clips, and something will be filthy. Something will have to be filthy. And I don't think that's by accident. I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think that stuff is an accident. And what happens to you guys is you watch a video, you see something filthy, you click it, you click something else, and you end up watching disgusting things.
From the ancient times till now, porn is being used by prostitutes and members of occult temples to worship incorporeal entities, meaning jinn and demons. When watching porn, one essentially enters into an altered and highly suggestible state of consciousness. The porn triggered trance makes people wide open to demonic entities that feed off of sexual perversion, causing many people to be insatiable, addicted, aggressive, and depressive, and indulging in all manner of wickedness. Therefore, it's a means of summoning the demons. That's why most of the people who are exposed to pornography are being possessed by these entities. And today, by means of technology and internet, it became a very widespread ritual being done not only by the actors of this industry, but also by the viewers watching them. A type of global satanic ritual. A study on 2017 shows the annual trafficking of one of the largest porn websites. 28.5 billion visits per year, or an average 81 million visits per day. 25 billion searches performed in a year. That means 22 million searches per day, or 800 searches per second. Over 4 million videos have been uploaded on this website, which is equal to almost 600,000 hours of content. That means if a person was supposed to watch all of those content day and night without any break, it would take him 68 years to watch them all. The amount of data which is being transferred on this site reaches to 10.2 million GBs per day, 7,101 GBs per minute, or 118 GBs per second. That's enough data to fill the memory of every iPhone which is currently in use around the world. This was the statistics of only one website in a year. Now imagine there are over 4 million websites which produce such content. The largest group of internet porn users is youth, aging between 12 to 17 years old, and it's only 19% of all users. The average age of exposure to pornography is 11 years. 9 out of 10 youths aging between 8 to 16 years old have been exposed to pornography. Every second, 30,000 internet users are viewing pornography content. Recent statistics show that 30% of addicts are women, and the percentage is growing.
They estimate the Scotland Yard, based on the records that they have of pedophile material on the internet, they reckon that there are 80 million children have been sexually abused. 80 million. Massive trauma to little children, innocent children. Human trafficking, 80% of it is for sex industry. This is disgusting. This should make us vomit, but this is what's happening on our planet. Who is searching for sex? If you actually did it by the numbers related to this is done where they actually look at the numbers who have access to the internet based on the population sizes. We have Muslim countries that are outnumbering in their searches. Even the United States is actually #1 for downloads. What is happening on our planet? This is happening in Muslim countries. You're in denial if you deny this. There are people here who are they have this tribulation.